let's see if we can get a debate going on the mid-season upgrade for Microsoft versus Sony. Are they calling it the PS4.5?
There isn't really an official name.
I will put money down it would be called the PS4K.
Yeah, PS4K makes sense to me because the whole point is 4K graphics.
Yeah.
Okay. So what, Giant Bomb, I believe
so.
Came out with the news, the leak or whatever, that developers are starting to work on upgraded versions of future games for the PS4.
I think they released the actual
and the specs
difference
and
too.
the specs too. Yeah, so it's going to be a faster processor, better GPU, better RAM, overall, higher clock speeds. So that way it can output those graphics.
Yeah, no, and the information that I dug up, there was a focus on the 4K, but there seemed to be a little bit of controversy about whether this was going to be an actual brand new box with brand new hardware, running about what the estimate I saw was about $1,500 worth of computing hardware on it, versus what Sony's done before, which is basically put out a slim upgrade with the ability to go 4K.
Right. So that's what's up in the air right now. Like nobody knows, is it going to be an add-on to the PS4? Is it going to be a brand new, whole new shiny box for PS4? Like what is it going to be?
It depends on when they release it, honestly. Because if it comes out at the same time as the VR, then they'll probably just box them together and it's like, here's your VR set.
Yeah, we really got to wait till E3, which is a couple months away yet, before we, I'm sure, get the official reveal. But this thing is coming. Like they've got specific specs. They've got everything.
Sony. So I think Sony's gone so far as done. We're doing it, but that's all. We're not going to give specifications right now.
Sure. The one thing I like about it though is that it's basically like a PC, right? So if your PC can run high resolution games right now, then it's going to run the high resolution games. But people who have PCs that aren't the best can still run those games at lower resolutions and lower frame rates.
That was the thing that was released when they released the specs.
Oh, they're releasing games that can run on multiple
every game,
hardware systems.
There's no specific game for the new PS4.
Okay. Like you're not going to be able to
every game released has to have a base version and then it's codenamed Neo.
Yeah. PlayStation Neo, right?
Because someone loves the Matrix.
Correct. Project Morpheus was the VR headset, and now PlayStation Neo is the code name for.
I really do enjoy. We're gonna have to do a segment on video game code names at some point.
Yeah.
But
Trinity.
That's the next thing. It's gonna be something.
Trinity, yeah. Go ahead.
The one thing you said was that this is definitely a sure thing, and the one thing I couldn't find about this Xbox 1.5 was a full-on confirmation. I read at Otaku, the article was dated 3 weeks ago, that Microsoft had come out straight on and said that they weren't going to do one. And then I saw another article dated from about 3 days ago that seemed to confirm some rumors that they're at least looking at doing what are we calling this, a mid-generation update?
Yeah, mid-generation update.
Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, has come out publicly saying he's against doing mid-generation upgrades like that they're not building PCs or not selling PCs, so why would they treat it like that?
Right.
And then someone dug through Microsoft's patents, which showcased a new wireless chipset for the Xbox One.
Yep.
But everything is like sealed, like you can't look at it further until after June, which just happens to be E3.
After E3, right.
Okay.
And you usually don't go into that kind of specifics for just a base upgrade.
Right,
exactly. But they haven't actually come out and said it's going to be like a 1.5. It could be like the long rumored, here's the Xbox One without a physical drive.
Right.
It's all digital, which an upgraded wireless chip would be needed for because faster downloads.
Right.
But again, it's one of those things where...
But now, like a day after the PS4K got like released, they were like, well, we're looking at maybe different, hardware versions in the future.
There's also
in a response from Microsoft,
There's also HoloLens.
Yeah.
Which
that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But
which they did say like we're not going to release it yet, but
so how do we feel about it? What do you think, Rick?
It's kind of needed at this point, especially if they're going to keep up with Sony for what they're doing.
Yeah.
They've got to give their customers something that's going to even kind of try and compete. I think it would be smart of them if they wanted to do pieces. I know some people are against that and just buy a new box, but like from what I've seen from people that I've, because I work in the industry too, nobody's going to want to spend because they just now are getting their Xbox Ones.
Right.
If they want to upgrade to something, they're not going to want to spend another $500.
If the only benefit here is 4K,
That's
if
it.
you don't have a 4K TV, what the hell is the point?
Yeah, and that's it. Because like
And if you have a 4K TV,
yeah.
then you're going to be willing to fork
Yeah,
over
exactly.
the money.
they
because you
just
have
they just
$2,500
dropped the price on the
extra.
Xbox One to 300. I'm not sure if that sale's still going on, but
Yeah.
They were smart.
yeah.
They
but
get
it'd
right
be-
in with that 4K technology TV and maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know, offer a TV with the console that gives you the best resolution speed.
For a
I've
bundle.
had that.
For a bundle.
Or because the Oculus does come with a Microsoft controller, here's an Xbox One that's Oculus ready out the gate,
Right.
which is the Oculus is spec better than the Sony VR.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. So the PSVR comes with the reason it costs so much is because it comes with the extra processing pack to handle virtual reality in the goggles basically,
Yeah.
or maybe it might be separate, but whatever it is. If the PS4K is capable of handling the VR by itself, then you might have a cheaper version of the PSVR as well. It's $100 for just the
Yeah.
goggles. So
Or they'll do a bundle where
Sure.
it's cheaper to get it together than it is separate.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm coming in on the side of the head of Xbox that this treads dangerously close to PC modder territory, which is already the market's cornered
Right.
with people that already do that sort of thing.
yep.
Well, with Microsoft, they're trying to not establish. They want Windows to be their main brand,
Yep.
so they're spreading that across
Everything.
everything. So I can see them going into that, get it closer to PC, so you could do because they did talk about how since you could stream Xbox One to Windows 10 PCs, eventually doing the other way around. So if they could just cut off the streaming and make the Xbox One a built-in Steam box,
Right.
then except you need to use Windows Store.
And the plus, we've also got Shuhei. The guy who runs Sony?
Yeah.
That division. I forget.
We'll
his
put that
name.
on
Yeah,
info.
it'll be on the bottom of the screen. He just got interviewed by someone who will also be on the bottom of the screen that said, what's the PS5 look like? And he said, if there's a PS5.
Yeah.
And they said, are you willing to go on record and say, on stage and say that there might not be a PS5? And he said, yeah. So the PS5 consoles might be coming to an end, and we might be seeing this trend of PC.
Yeah, well, the concept of Microsoft being in competition with Sony is ludicrous. That's saying that Apple's in competition with Samsung.
Right.
A division of Apple is certainly
Right.
in competition with Samsung, just like a division of Microsoft, Xbox, is in competition with Sony. But that's such a small part of the larger scheme here. And if Jesse said the goal of Microsoft is to make Windows 10 ubiquitous, at a certain point, getting their console out of the household and their Windows into the PC and the phone and the TV is going to, those two paths are going to fork.
Right. And that's the thing. The Microsoft and Sony don't need these things. I'm sure they are profitable. But
I'm curious as to how badly Sony actually does, because usually every time I hear quarter earnings about
Yeah.
Sony, it's usually always in the red. So
Gotcha.
I'm curious to see how well, because the rest of Sony, they have to compete with everything like TVs, Blu-ray, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they get in the back end because they own the rights to the copyright for the Blu-ray technology, but no one's buying Sony TVs as much as they were anymore because LG and Samsung are cheaper.
Yep. They're the market lead right now. Do you think that that is going to sell well? Both of these consoles. Do you think they're going to sell?
Yes.
And who do you think they're marketing towards? Do you think that it's marketed towards the tech dad that's got exposable income that's just going to be, I've got a 4K TV, I might as well get the next thing to
It's marketed
get
towards
with
the
it?
people who stood in line day one to get an iPhone, even though it wasn't the best phone available.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I mean, the generation of people that grew up with the PS1 now, which was one of the best-selling consoles of all time, and then the PS2 that is the best-selling console of all time until later on this year when the PS4 eclipses it.
Well, I think
They're
the
35 now.
The Wii might have.
Wii worldwide.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not these people are the people that are going to
So
have the money to
it's
do it.
people with a ton of income that could potentially buy it. So I think that if they move forward with something like the PS5, it could certainly do well. And I feel like peripherals always do okay. They do better than naysayers think they will, and they
Right.
probably don't do as good as optimists think they will as well.
yeah.
You know, they fall somewhere in the middle.
I think it really depends on software in this case.
That's the thing, the software's not going to be any different. It's going to be just like buying a PS4, but with 4K graphics.
Yeah, so unless it has something that screams,
Right.
if you don't have this already, this is the one to get.
Right.
Or if you do have it and you want it to look
It's
better.
all going to, it depends on their message, 100%, on their marketing with it, and
It's going to depend on their launch titles.
yeah.
If you get a really good launch title at start, it's going to be what everybody wants.
Like
But
Uncharted 5.
that's
Yeah,
the thing, like,
something like that.
if they want to do it since they're doing VR, here's Destiny 2 with VR support.
right.
Yeah, people eat that stuff up.
I mean, I would eat the shit out of that. Like, I
Yeah.
would, yes.
Or No
It's
Man's
just-
Sky.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky especially. No Man's Sky,
Oh, God.
yeah, in 4K VR, I'll never see half my
As
friends again.
Jesse segues us to 1,000 future sessions with No Man's Sky, because I'd love to talk about self-building algorithms all day long.
Yes, please.
I also that and Star Citizen. I will pay for a $2,000 PC rig to play Star Citizen in 4K. And then probably VR too, because why not?
'Cause why not? Yeah.
And then Jesse will never have to go outside again.
Which is the end goal.
Yeah.